This group was a pioneering post-World War II R&B group, as well as one of the first R&B groups to be named after birds. In both their musical and language, they impacted two generations of artists who went on to sell a lot of albums. The centerpiece of today's story is all about the Ravens. Now, before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more uploads. Now, without further ado, let's cue that intro. Jimmy Ricks, who started singing at an early age, founded the group. In 1945, he worked as a waiter at two separate restaurants in Harlem, New York. One of his co-workers was a friend named Warren Suttles. The duo began singing songs by the Ink Spots, the Mills Brothers, and the Delta Rhythm Boys, to name a few. The two sounded so amazing together that they decided to establish a group, leaving them to look for two more members to complete the harmony quartet. The duo discovered Leonard Pusey after he won a talent contest at the Apollo Theater. Then Ali Jones joined the group. The group then recruited a manager named Ben Bart along with accompanist Howard Biggs. They then needed a name, so they decided to follow the Orioles' lead and call themselves the Ravens. Now, these two groups helped establish a trend in bird naming groups, which many other groups followed, including the Crows, the Larks, and the Robins, to mention a few. The Ravens was very heavily inspired by groups such as the Ink Spots, the Delta Rhythm Boys, and the Mills Brothers. Despite being heavily influenced by these groups, they chose to add their own flavor. The group chose to use Rick's bass voice as the lead rather than a more traditional tenor, which established this as the group's signature style. The group's work was more diverse, with elements of pop, jazz, R&B, and gospel influences. The group's initial recordings was for Ben Bart's small label named Hub Records. Honey?
Yes, you might want me, honey, but baby, I don't want you.
And Lullaby was the group's first two singles.
Don't worry about romance.
Following the release of these tracks, Ali Jones departed the group and was replaced by Maeve Marshall. The contrast between Rick's bass voice and Marshall's tenor was crucial to the group's success. In 1947, the group left Hub Records to join National Records, where they achieved rapid success during the period when the R&B charts was really largely known as the race charts. 1948 proved to be a great year for the group, as it had 7 charted R&B singles with Be On Your Merry Way,
Why do I feel this way?
Bye Bye Baby Blues,
Yes, I'm leaving you, baby. I'm going away to stay. Yes.
It's Too Soon to Know,
Is it all just a game? Am I the fire or just an
Old Man River,
Keeps on rolling. He don't plan.
Send For Me If You Need Me,
Send for me if you need me,
Yeah.
and I'll come back to you.
Yes, my baby.
Silent Night,
Run, young virgin, mother and child.
and Write Me a Letter.
To me. Yes, I wrote my gal a letter, and this is what I had.
During this time, the group had 2 songs that crossed over into the mainstream, with the songs Old Man River and Write Me a Letter. That next year, the group had 2 charted singles with Ricky's Blues,
Yes, I'm gonna ride, ride.
and White Christmas.
Just like the one I used to know, where the treetop.
The group's run of success on what became known as the R&B charts lasted into the early 50s with the lineup of Ricks, Suttles, Pusey, and Marshall, particularly staying together for several years. The group's major purpose was to highlight Rick's bass voice, and it achieved great success. This established Rick's voice as a benchmark, with every R&B bass vocalist being compared to it. Although during this time the group had very few charted successes, they were successful in concert, collecting a $2,000 charge every night. In the early 50s, the group recorded for Columbia, OK, Mercury, and Jubilee Records. In 1950, the group released a song, I Don't Have to Ride No More.
Baby told me I don't have to ride no more. She said, Daddy, Daddy, you don't.
In 1951, Marshall and Pusey departed the group, and Joe Van Loan replaced Marshall as lead singer. In addition, a number of short-term members filled in for Pusey's shoes, which was very difficult to fill. In 1952, the group released its final charted record with Rock Me All Night.
Little bit about it driving me insane. Can't hear my baby when she call my name. Says I might get over, but I never.
This became the group's highest charted single since the group inception. The group signed with Julie B Records in 1953, but as rock and roll gained popularity, the group's sound grew more out to date. Suttles formally quit the group in 1954 after previously taking long vacations from it. Ricks quit the group to pursue a solo career in 1956. Now after Suttles and Ricks left, Long took over the group as leader, which unfortunately disbanded in 1958. Ricks and Suttles revived the group in 1971, adding new members until Rick's death. In 1974, Suttles, Pusey, and Marshall performed as the Ravens. In 1998, the group was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Jimmy Ricks sadly passed away on July 2nd, 1974 at the age of 49. Joe Van Loan passed away in 1976. Maeve Marshall passed away in November of 1989. Ollie Jones passed away on October 4th, 1990. Leonard Pusey sadly passed away on October 2nd, 2007. And Warren Suttles passed away on July 24th, 2009. Now, before we go, I have a few questions for you all. Who are some individuals that you would love to see a video about? Also, what is your favorite song from the Ravens?